Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. Shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today as we stretch? You might be like, how's the recording going? Because I'm trying to record a lot of videos in advance of July. It's going pretty well. We've got a stream later today. I have decided what we're going to play. Right? I did. Yes, I did decide what we're going to play. This is coming up after stream anyway. We're going to be playing Far From Noise, which seems like an hour long or so short experience, and it seems like a narrative one. I don't really know, but we'll give it a shot. It was in my itch.io bundle. So hello everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 12:24 p.m. on Sunday, June 23rd, 2024. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of recording lately because, as I say, art fights in July, and I want to make sure that I have as many videos in the backlog as possible to try and make. I'm trying to get back into doing more frequent drawings, and I suppose things like that. Which means I just sort of need my time and space to do it. I will say that my hard drive is very much starting to get full because I was just like, oh, the Talos Principle episodes themselves are 10 to 12 gigabytes in size. I think the largest one I had at one point was 20 something gigabytes. They're huge. Talos Principle. I guess because of a type of rendering or type of a graphic style. That's a word. It makes it very difficult to encode or I don't know. And I know much about video development or things like that. But I've done pretty well. I've got recordings up to about halfway through July. I've got another week to finish the rest off. So Paradise Killer up to the 15th. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Still 5 videos. That's still quite a lot, to be honest. 5-ish videos. But we got another week and a bit before things really get underway into having to do stuff. Of course, next week I have a D&D campaigns restart again. I haven't done as much preparation as I definitely should have, to be perfectly honest. But it's nice to have a little break from it. Not that I'm oh no, I hate D&D, but D&D's a lot of prep sometimes. So having a bit of time to just play some games and here and there is always nice. How's the thumbnail art coming along? That's not made any progress whatsoever, I'm sorry to say. Mainly because I got this commission I'm working on, which is taking priority over thumbnail art, but it'll come with time. If I can get it done before July, that would honestly be optimal, because I don't think the shading will actually, as I say every single time, I just never find the time to do it, is that once the colours are done, the background is super simple, and the shading should also be a relatively simple shading one. I'm not going to make it overly complex. I think the hardest part of it will be editing together the final video, and then retroactively having all the episodes I've done before, the thumbnail art's updated. It's been, how long has it been? What day of Animal Crossing are we on? It's been 3 months or something? Yeah, 3 months now. Crazy. Definitely didn't want it to go on for this long, but that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. So yeah, just recording some Animal Crossing, then I'll go eat some lunch, and then we'll have our stream. And then I guess I'll probably be just doing a lot of drawing or something in the evening. I'm not really sure. My throat feels blah, to be honest, today. Maybe because I've been doing a lot of recording, and I think it's probably because it's quite hot as well. Having to drink a lot of water to stay hydrated, or obviously stay hydrated, everyone. And talking about staying hydrated. So to have a final conversation, well, not final conversation, but conversations we can have about the all-inclusive stay, because it did encompass 5 days or something, so it'd be a shame, I think, to only talk about it in one episode. But the most interesting thing I think about, not the most interesting thing, but one of the things I mentioned is the fact that the all-inclusive resort place that we stayed at had a lot of different bars where you can get alcoholic drinks from. Obviously, forewarning, everyone please drink responsibly. But the interesting thing about all-inclusive stays is that the drinks are all covered. I mean, you pay your amount at the beginning for the all-inclusive, and all the food and all the drinks that you want to get are basically covered. In fact, the only time I ever saw that you had to pay for food is if you wanted to get a second serving of lobster spaghetti at the fish restaurant. I guess because lobster's expensive, but it costs €50 to get like another serving or something. And I was like, who would want that? Because the lobster spaghetti in the end didn't even have very much lobster in it. It had like lobster nuggets, I guess, which is, you know, interesting to say the very least. I heard it was good though. I didn't have it. I had a tuna steak, but nonetheless. Having an open bar is certainly, well, it certainly could be a dangerous thing, I suppose, if you're very much a type of person to imbibe alcohol irresponsibly. You might be like, where do you land on this sort of like spectrum of drinking responsibly or not, dear darling? And I'm like, I feel like most of the time I'm reasonably responsible. Most of the time the problem comes when I eat too much food and I drink as well. Then it's like, well, it's mostly the food part. As I'm starting to find out as I'm getting older that then it's weird because I used to be able to eat like quite a lot of food when I was younger, but now as I'm getting older, like when I find that there's like a threshold that like, as soon as I like hit that threshold, I'm just like, I'm gone. Like, no, it's not even drinking. This is like literally eating food, and I'll just be like, I don't know, not to be TMI, but let's say the food does not stay inside me, but like I start. Is there a scientific word for vomiting? It's not a scientific. I mean, vomiting is a scientific word. I was like, I don't know. It just feels so crass somehow, but I guess it's not really. You know, I can't keep it down, I suppose, once it reaches a certain limit. And then it's not very pleasant for the next few hours, as then I cannot, like, ingest anything. Because it will immediately be thrown back up. But, you know, I've learned that from experience now. Because before, like, every time it happened, it was when I was drinking alcohol as well. I was like, oh, I must have drank too much. But then I've also had times where I've drunk a lot of alcohol. And, like, it's been completely fine. And that's usually the balance, you know? Finding that balance of eating enough food to make sure that it can, like, the alcohol can be, like, soaked up, or the drinking can be soaked up, and then, like, not eating too much food as well. Because the thing I find in these times when you're, like, you know, you're, like, at a bar or there's, like, free food or free drinks, it's just, like, I'm very much someone who doesn't talk continuously, which you might not believe, I suppose, from these Animal Crossing episodes. I'm very much someone who, like, ends up listening to stories, and I feel like just to sort of, like, do something while this entire, like, social event is going on is I'm just like, well, what am I going to do? I'm just going to, like, eat food and drink, I guess. So I end up doing it a bit more passively. Anyway, so the dangerous part is very much an open bar, I suppose, if you're someone who does not have a control on how responsibly you drink. I like to think at least I have somewhat control. At least I definitely didn't have any issues with it. It's also another thing is that, like, because it's one of the bars was like literally all day. I guess you can literally, I mean I did, literally start drinking in the morning, like all the way to evening. Like not like super hard, yeah, like going wild, going crazy. Just like I had like a drink like every like couple of hours or something. And not like a heavy drink or anything, just like a cocktail or something. So if anything, it was just more like a fruit drink. Or would I recommend that? No, if you don't like alcohol, then don't do it. You know, to be perfectly honest, I was just trying all the drinks that they had there. We even like, it's very amusing because we made like a spreadsheet of all the drinks that we had. It's on my phone. It's not on my computer. Of all the drinks we had while we were staying there, and then we like rated them all just to see what like what the favorite ones, what people liked, etc., etc. How many drinks? So we had 28 different drinks overall. I don't think I had literally all of them. I think the only one I didn't have was, okay, I didn't have a limoncello. I also didn't have Bellini. I don't even know which one that is. I didn't have Louise or the Lingeron. I also thought I didn't have a Negroni Sour, but it's not on here, it seems. That's interesting. Negroni Sour is not on here. Because Negroni Sour was something that people loved. But I don't know. Like, if you're interested in cocktails, I suppose I can read them out to you. No, they're not all cocktails. They're all just, you know, alcoholic drinks of some kind. And some aren't, like, actual known ones. I think some are just, like, I mean, a lot of them are just sort of made up from bar itself. I don't have a menus anymore. I could find them, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to just try and record them from memory. But we have, like, a literal spreadsheet of all the drinks we had, the location we got it from, and each person's individual ratings. The first one on this list was a honeybee mine, which I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. It had Greek honey. It had rum, I think, in it. And something else. I don't know. Anyway, I really liked it. It was one of my favourite drinks, but I really like the flavour of honey. So I think I rated it very highly. But my friends were just like, it just tastes like alcohol. And I was like, to be completely honest, I don't taste the alcoholic taste that you seem to taste. So I gave it like a 9, but the average rating was 4.5. Then we had a Negroni Spagliato, and I gave it a 4. The average was 6. Like, Negronis I'm not like crazy about, I suppose. You know, Negroni sour, pretty good because it's a sweet one, but this Negroni was like a bitter take on it. Like, Negroni is not really a drink I go for, to be particularly honest. Like, sometimes I will go for a Campari. I'm not gonna lie. And like, I don't... There needs to be a right time and a right sort of meal, I think I have Campari. But like, having it on its own, I feel like is not really something I go for. Kind of depends. I don't know what's in the Negroni sour that actually makes it so sweet and popular. Gin, Campari, and other... Lemon juice? Vermouth Rouge. Sure, I don't know. Had a Summer of Matador. I don't remember what this one was. Summer of Matador. I generally can't remember. Pina Colada? Pina Colada was alright, probably. 7. 8.5. Amanda? I don't remember what Amanda was. I gave it a 6. Aperol Spritz. Aperol Spritz is a very sort of classic summer drink. Which I also only gave it a 6. I guess because it, like, Aperol Spritz to me is not like a drink where I'm like, wow, this is like amazing. I'm like, this is like just the right sort of drink, you know? It's sort of like where you rate like an apple or something in a list of fruits. If you're like, what's your favorite fruit? I wouldn't say an apple, but if you gave me an apple, would I be upset? No. I'd be like, yeah, it's a great summer drink. Favorite summer drink? Probably not. I guess I probably like Pimm's or something better. I'm also like, by the way, I'm not like that knowledgeable about alcohol. And like, you might not believe me, I suppose, by the fact I'm just like talking about alcohol like this, but like I don't really remember a lot of the different alcohols and what they taste like. I'm familiar with the names though, and the ones I've drunk, I suppose. It's like a thing with wine. Like my family, like my inner family, are all very much into wine, and that sort of thing. And so, sort of like by osmosis, I like have knowledge of wine. You know, I know that apparently my favorite type of wine is a Malbec. I know like other different types of wine: Pinot Grigio, Pinot Rioja, Shiraz, Riesling, like all these different types of wine. And I sometimes remember what they taste like, or their profiles taste like, but I'll be honest, I don't really know much else about wine. Like, what does it mean for a wine to be dry? I don't, like, I can kind of, like, get it, but I also kind of don't, you know? Anyway, sorry, that's not the point. Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster. I remember this one. This was actually a pretty good one. It was quite like a sweet, fruity one from what I remember. Paloma? I don't remember Paloma. Gave it an 8 though, so apparently it's pretty good. Vanilla and Mango Mojito. That was a pretty good one. I gave it a 9. It's the highest rated one, with the average of 9.25. Well, it should have been, apart from... Oh, sorry. I was saying Negroni sour this entire time. I meant Amaretto sour this entire time I was saying it. I was thinking in my head, I was saying Negroni sour, and I was like, Negroni is such a bitter drink. How did they make it taste so sweet? And now I've looked down. It's Amaretto sour. It was not a Negroni sour. That makes way more sense. Strawberry and grapefruit spritz. I don't remember ordering this. Apparently I had it. It's fine. 7. Cantaritos. A 5. Jungle Bird. This was like a pineapple one, wasn't it? I thought it was pretty good. 6. One of my friends rated it a 1. I hated it. Oh, the spicy passion fruit margarita. This one people hated. 1, 3. I give it a 5. 3. This one surprised me because I hadn't had like an actual spicy drink before, but this drink actually like tasted, not like it just tasted like chili, but it gave you the effects of chili like after drinking it. You know, that sort of like spicy sensation that you have like on your like throat or whatever, which really surprised me. I was like, I don't think I've actually had a drink before, which I actually drank it. I was like, whoa, that drink's actually like spicy. Limoncello spritz. I've had limoncello a lot of times. It's a nice aperitif. It's one of my mother's favourite drinks. The thing is, it's very popular to have like spritz version of cocktails, you know, some sort of sparkling ingredient added to it, which I'm going to be honest, I'm not all about. I don't like sparkling or anything really. I much prefer my drinks flat. But there's some drinks, I'm sure, which are much better sparkling, you know, the cocktail wise. I mean, all fizzy drinks, I guess, kind of had to be sparkling by definition. Would I drink a flat cola? Maybe. Well, I mean, it's also still probably a bit too sweet for me. Would I drink as a flat Fanta? Yeah, I guess so. It's just kind of fruit juice at that point, isn't it? Ruby Highball? I don't remember. Oh, I remember this one. This one was like a vodka drink or something, and it was like a low alcohol one. And then the bartender asked me, "Hey, do you want it to be extra strong or just like regular?" And I was like, I didn't know that was an option. I guess extra strong. And he was like, "Oh, you're ordering a low alcohol drink and making it extra strong." And I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm just like, I guess." How was it? It was fine, is what I'd say. P.S. I love you. Oh, this was like an espresso drink, which one of my friends loved. I thought it was okay. You might be like, there's a lot of drinks here. I will tell you, but I didn't repeat, I think, a single drink. Apart from water, of course. And I guess like apple juice and tea. While I was at the resort, because I wanted to try a load of different ones. A woo woo? I don't remember what woo woo was. I rated it at 8, so I guess it was quite nice. Yedisco flower? I gave it 6, I don't remember it. Bellini I didn't get. Honey Mojito Royale? An 8. Probably because it tastes like honey. Ruby Mojito, I don't remember this one. 5. I gave it, I guess it wasn't that good. Amaretto Sour, people loved it. Got a rating of 12, 10 and 10. I didn't actually order one to drink one. I do like Amaretto though. Or Disaronno. Well, hold on, I always meant to look this up. Is Amaretto and Disaronno the same thing? I always thought they were the same thing. Amaretto versus Disaronno. Disaronno is a brand of Amaretto. Okay, that makes sense. If you don't know what it is, it's basically like an almond liqueur, which you might have tasted if you had like an alcoholic tiramisu before. It's very often like what the lady fingers are steeped in, and often mixed in with a coffee as well. At least I make my tiramisus with like a bit of Disaronno in there. Mainly because I'm making it for adults. I would not make it like that for children. I guess no. I mean, I guess children can have like a tiny bit of amaretto. I don't really know. It's not necessary for the flavouring, but it's honestly by itself, just genuinely by itself, amaretto, a very nice drink. Amaretto sour, probably even nicer. I did have a sip of it and it was very good. And that basically, like, as soon as I discovered that drink, that was like the drink they always ordered. Because they were just like, I love this drink. I tried a Luis, I don't remember this drink. Lingeron, Mexican Mule, Milano Torino, and Cocoa Nuts. I genuinely don't even remember most of these drinks. Cocoa Nuts, I remember, was a low alcoholic drink. But yeah, I don't know. Again, there's a lot of cocktails and stuff out there. How much do I really know about sort of like bartending, alcohol, etc., etc., etc.? The answer is, again, not as much as you might think. I did go to like an event which had like not a bar workshop, what's it called? Like a bartending sort of thing. I didn't participate in any of the lessons, mainly because I got there a little bit late. But I did watch them. Where they can make cocktails and whatnot. I thought it was a fun experience. Would I like to learn how to make cocktails? It's not high on my priority list, but again, it's the sort of thing where it's like, give me the opportunity. Sure, why not? I do like cocktails. Do I like alcohol in general? Now, this is an interesting question. Because I feel like I wouldn't like put myself as being like, oh yeah, I love alcohol or anything. I basically only drink alcohol in, well, I guess technically 2 settings. One setting being a social setting. People are drinking alcohol. I'll drink alcohol as well at a party or something. The other setting being out of curiosity, I suppose. Because I will admit, I did have a couple of alcoholic drinks while I was by myself without my friends. When I was sitting in a bar. But, you know, nothing will motivate me more than being like, ooh, here's a list of things you've never tried before. Nothing will motivate me more to be like, I'm going to work down this list and try every single thing. Whether I like it or not. But yeah, I don't know. Cocktails are pretty nice. To be perfectly honest. Not always my go-to drink. My go-to drink, maybe boringly, is water. But yeah. I don't know, cocktails. What's my favourite cocktail? That's a great question. I have no idea. I need like a list of cocktails. I'm going to be honest, I don't really know, like, I can't remember like what the most common cocktails sort of like taste like. I just sort of like look at the list and be like, oh, that looks like a good one. I'll have that. Or maybe a daiquiri. That's probably true. Oh, I do like Sex on the Beach as well. That's also a very nice cocktail. Peach schnapps and vodka. I'm sorry, I'm just like, Pim's obviously also a very good one. Never had a lychee spritz, but I probably would like that. Pina Colada is obviously a classic. Tequila Sunrise. I don't know if I've had a Tequila Sunrise before, actually. I must have, but I don't really remember what it tastes like. Oh, sangria. Oh, okay, I do like sangria quite a lot as well. That's true. Maybe I'm just lying. Maybe I do like cocktails. Oh, no, obviously I do like cocktails. Maybe I like cocktails more than I expected. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to round this episode off here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Hope we see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.